Hello, investors. It's been a little while since I sent you a investor video on Monday, but back in the swing of things. Got our Airbnb buckled up, and that is up and running. I'm going to give you an update on that next week, kind of talking you through the cost to acquire, the cost of furnishing one of the units, and what we're seeing as far as traction on actually getting it rented out. So next week I'm going to go through all the numbers with you and kind of explain what that process has looked like in detail. So today I want to talk to you about something that a lot of people have reached out to me about, is what is the difference between purchasing a single family investment property and purchasing a multifamily investment property. These are very different homes, very different reasons for purchasing one or the other. I'm always a big fan of being intentional with why you're purchasing an investment property, so I want to kind of talk through some of the pros and cons of that right now. So a single family investment property is usually a easier investment. Usually you get a higher quality home because you have a single home that you're buying for, let's say, $300,000, as opposed to a duplex, which is two homes for $500,000. So just like the cost per unit is obviously going to be higher, but with that you're going to have a little bit higher quality. Most likely you're going to have a little bit less issues. And one of the things that I've seen far more commonly is when a tenant is occupying a whole home, they're usually going to be a little bit nicer on the property because they know that they occupy the whole thing. When you get to a duplex, triplex, or even larger apartment complex type situations, tenants are going to be a little bit rougher on it because it feels more like a rental property as opposed to a tenant living in their own home. So one of the benefits is you can have a little bit higher rental rates because you have a standalone home. You don't share walls with anyone or anything like that. A tenant's going to get the whole yard space. With a tenant occupying the whole yard space, that means usually they're going to take over the maintenance of the yard, so you're not going to need to do lawn mowing or snow shoveling or anything like that. But again, the cost to acquire is going to be a little bit higher. And then the other kind of financial downside of it is if that unit is empty, it's actually going to be, you're not bringing in any money for that month. So if you have a duplex or triplex, one of your units is empty, you're still probably going to be able to pay the mortgage with the income from the other unit or units. Where if a single family home is empty, it's empty. You usually have lower turnover on a single family home, and again, kind of lower maintenance. So if you're looking for a really easy, like you want to manage it yourself, kind of longer term rental, going with a single family home may be a better way to go. If you're looking for a multifamily, most likely multifamily is going to have higher turnover. Tenants are not going to be as comfortable there, and they're going to recognize that that space is not their own. So with that, they're going to be a little bit harder on the property. The common area maintenance is generally going to have to be taken care of by the landlord or by the management company. When you get to multifamily properties, that's really when having a management company step in is going to be helpful, simply because things are going to be a little bit rougher on the property. So even if the quality is there, generally tenants are not as friendly when they share a wall because they know kind of mentally that it's a rental space instead of a space that's their own. So the benefit of having multifamily, I personally have two multifamily rentals. And moving forward, I don't think I'm going to purchase a single family rental. I'm pretty much, I think, exclusively going to be doing multifamily from here on out. The benefit of doing multifamily is if one of the units is vacated, you still have the other ones bringing in the rent. Same with if one of the tenants trashes one of the units, one of your 2 or 3 units is going to be trashed, but you're going to have the other one, they're going to be able to supplement the rental income. And you're going to have to renovate maybe a third or a half of your space instead of renovating the whole building. So personally, I like the safety net that comes with a multifamily investment. That being said, they're usually a little bit lower quality units. You obviously can upgrade them and get nicer things in them. So I have one that's quite a bit lower quality, and I have one that's quite a bit higher quality. My higher quality one right now is the one that we're doing the Airbnb on, which I'll talk on next week. But right now in that we have 2 long-term tenants and we have 1 Airbnb unit. So the two long-term tenants, they pay for the whole mortgage. So our Airbnb unit that is sitting there, if it's totally empty for the whole month, that's okay because we're still paying the mortgage with the other two. And then anything that we book through Airbnb is just going to be profit on top of whatever the other two are bringing in for their base rent. So that is really helpful kind of starting into that Airbnb world, getting more reviews and things like that. So that's kind of the way that we're going with that. So I think there's pros and cons of both of them. Every investment scenario is going to be a little bit different based on your long and short-term goals. A single-family rental is going to have lower cash flow. Multifamily is going to have higher cash flow. Single-family will have lower maintenance most of the time. Multifamily will have higher maintenance and higher maintenance costs most likely. But there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to investing. So I'd love to talk to you about your specific scenario, kind of your hopes and dreams for purchasing an investment property, and be able to give you some insight on why you would choose one over the other. There is not, again, a one-size-fits-all. Everyone will be a little bit different, and your scenario does matter in thinking through that. So let's have a conversation about that, and if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Talk to you soon.